Hi and welcome back to my channel Black Cats Pilates. My name's Sarah and thank you for joining me today for this 15-minute beginner workout. So we're going to be looking at gentle core strengthening for absolute beginners. So if you are completely new to Pilates, this is a great place for you to start. You're not going to need any equipment, just your lovely self and a mat if you have one. I mean, don't even worry if you don't have a mat, just a nice comfy floor for you to work on will be absolutely fine. I've decided to make two videos here, so this is part one. Part two will come out next week, okay? So I just wanted to make it nice and short and sweet to not overwhelm everybody, but just to give you a few little simple exercises to do that really fire up the core. I hope you enjoy it, so without further ado, let's make a start. All right, so let's start seated for this one. If you just make sure you're toward the front of your mat and you've got some space behind you, because we're going to roll back into supine once we've had a quick run through of our alignment, breathing and core, so our Pilates ABC. Now, if you just place your hands behind your knees, you're going to come onto your sit bones, so those bony parts that you can feel under each of your buttocks or each of your glutes. Make sure you're sitting on those. Try to relax your shoulders, and to sit up tall, if you just think about lifting your breastbone up, really lengthen through the spine so your shoulders are above your hips, chin level with the floor, crown of the head facing the ceiling. Lovely. Shoulder blades should be flush with your back. Perfect. Okay, so in Pilates, we inhale through the nose and we exhale through the mouth. So let's have a little go at that together now. Big deep breath. And then exhale. Let's go again. Nice big deep breath. Fabulous. Now let's just keep that going. We engage the core on an out breath. So all you're going to do when you next exhale is draw the tummy button toward the spine and hold it there. Okay, so whenever you're ready, next time you take an out breath, let's do that. Draw the navel in. Okay, so a big deep breath. Then you're going to hold it in place. Just keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to roll back into supine. We're going to do that on an out breath as well. So the next time you exhale, let's jump gently off the sit bones. You're going to lower the ribs slowly to the hips and then lean back with the shoulders. Let go of the legs and roll all the way down into a full body stretch. So reach your arms overhead, lengthen through the arms and legs. You can wiggle your fingers and toes and then flex your ankles as well to give your calf muscles, the back of your lower legs, a really nice stretch out. And then place your arms down by your sides, palms down, and then pop your feet on the floor. So we've got the legs back in a crook position again, knees and feet hip width apart. All right, so we're going to start to warm ourselves up. Now, if you could just bring your knees in towards you, give them a squeeze, give yourself a nice little hug, and then rest your hands on the top of your knees. You can have the knees and feet together now. All right, on your next exhale, let's engage the core. So we're drawing the navel in, we're going to hold it there. Then you're going to just gently push the knees forward. And when you do that, notice how a little gap starts to appear between the lower back and the floor, which we don't want. All right, let's bring the knees back in. And we're going to do something called imprinting. So not only are you going to keep the navel drawn toward the spine, you're going to very gently press your lower back toward the mat. Now it's a press, not a push. Don't be aggressive. It shouldn't hurt. It's just gently pressing down so that when you push your knees forward, you don't get the gap between the pelvis and the floor, the lower back and the floor. Your pelvis stays still. So that's what the imprinting technique is for. Okay, so let's bear that in mind when we're doing this first exercise. Okay, so think breaststroke, think swimming. You're going to take a breath in first and then exhale, push the knees forward and then part them, bring them round and back in and repeat. Okay, so exhale, let the knees go forward, around. We're going to breathe in as they come back towards you and in. Okay, keeping the lower back press gently down. You can feel how that's tightening your abdominal muscles. Okay, we've got that core connection. Now we're going to change direction with the knees. So when you're ready, let's go out, forward, round and in. We're still exhaling as the knees go away from us. Keep the big toes together if you like as well. It does help you to control where your feet are as you're doing this exercise. Let's try and make those circles as big as we can. We're just going to go for a couple more. And then the knees are going to come in and we're going to give ourselves a nice little hug again. Perfect. Okay, now let's place our arms down by our sides, palms facing down. Make sure the shoulder blades are flush with your back, so you've got the back of your upper arms toward the floor. Okay, good. Now you're going to slide your hands underneath your bottom. So make sure they're not too high up around the back of the pelvis because that's really uncomfortable. Just come down slightly and we're going to use our hands in this position to help us hold our pelvis in place while we do the first exercise. So if you can just part the knees and feet again. All right, draw the navel in. We're going to do lazy toe taps and we're going to start with the right foot. All we're going to do is tap the toes down and then you're going to bring the knee back and swap to the right. So we've got tap, tap, tap. All right, so we exhale on every tap and we inhale as we swap over. So taking a little sip of air after each tap. Shoo, shoo. Good. All right, keep the navel drawn in. So in other words, you've got your core engaged throughout and we keep breathing in time with the movements. Good. Got a little bit of core activation, but we're going to improve on this as well. So let's bring the knees in again. All right, good. Keep the hands where they are. And then now we're going to do both together. We're going to tap both toes down at the same time. So exhale, tap. Inhale, return. It's a little bit more challenging now, keeping the pelvis still. So keeping the navel drawn in and the lower back pressed gently down is going to help you to maintain pelvic stability. So we're strengthening our core. You might even feel this around the front of the hips there. Okay, so top of the thighs toward the pelvis. We're getting into our hip flexors. 3, 2, then last one coming up. Lovely. Let's keep the knees in. Now you can take your hands from underneath you. Just place them by your sides. Make sure the palms are facing down. Shoulders, again, back and down. Now this time we're going to lift the head and shoulders. So take a breath in. Exhale, draw the navel in. Lift the head and shoulders. Raise the arms and reach the fingertips toward the wall in front of you. Okay, so try not to hunch the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders back and down. Now make sure that you are looking forward here and not up at the ceiling. That will get your neck and we don't want that. Anytime you've got the head and shoulders up, we need to be squeezing the abs and letting them do the work, okay? So if that's you, just reach your fingertips slightly forward more, but keep the shoulders back and down and look forward. So there's a gap between the chin and the chest. Okay, keep the navel drawn in. We're going back to our toe taps. We'll start with the right foot again. So tap, tap, tap. Remember, exhale, exhale, exhale. Sip of air in between. Okay, we're going to go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a quick rest. Okay, relax your head down. Take some nice deep breaths. Relax your abdominals. And then we're going to go again, but this time we're going to do both feet together. So keep the knees in. Okay, arms by your sides again. Take a breath. And then exhale, draw the navel in, lift the head and shoulders, reach forward. So you're floating your arms by your sides, and this time you're going to turn the palms up. Okay, now when you're ready, let's tap the toes gently down and bring the knees in. So exhale, inhale. Keeping the head and shoulders lifted. Really notice how this is working your upper abdominals as well as the lower abs now. So the muscles above your tummy button. Now, again, we're going to try and progress this. So keep your head and shoulders nice and still. And every time you tap your toes down, reach your arms around and back towards your ears. Try not to take the head back as you take your arms back. Okay, you're keeping the head and shoulders just where they are. And we're only going to go for 5, 4, really feeling that now. 3, 2, last one. And then hug the knees. Draw them in, relax your head down and breathe. Okay, just relax your abs. Whew, well done. Okay, now if you place your hands just on the front of your knees, keep the navel drawn in, push the knees forward and away from you, and then lift your feet. So what we end up with here is the legs in a tabletop position. So knees above the hips, shins level with the floor. Try and keep the knees apart. Okay, so hip width apart. Imprint the spine. Okay, so lower back, we gently press it down. Remember, not too hard. We just want to feel the abdominal muscles have tightened that little bit more. And then you're going to reach your arms overhead. You're going to use the assisted roll up as we come to seated. All right, so breathe in to reach up. Exhale, lift the head and the shoulders, take hold of the back of the thighs, use them as leverage to bring yourself to seated. And then we're back to that start position, back on our sit bones, and the legs are in crook. So let's sit nice and tall. We're just going to do a little bit of work in seated now, still working our core muscles. So if you just place your hands behind your knees, shoulders back and down. And remember, we lift the breastbone to try and lengthen through the spine. So chin level with the floor. Just a little note there as well. When you lift your breastbone, you don't need to lift it really high so that your rib cage flares. Just try and keep the rib cage relaxed. It's more about having the shoulders back and down rather than hunched up by your ears. Okay, now you're going to reach your arms forward, so arms parallel to the floor. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in through the nose. On that exhale, engage your core, so draw the navel in and then jump off the sit bones, lower the ribs to the hips and lean back and stop when your fingertips are above the knees. Okay, so we don't need to go back any further than that to really feel that's got into those abdominal muscles. Now you're going to breathe in to reach forward and up and come back to seated tall. Okay, and we're going to go again right from here though. So big breath in. Exhale, navel in, off the sit bones, lower the ribs to the hips, lean back with the shoulders, stop when the fingertips are above the knees, then reach forward and up. Breathe in here. All right, let's keep it going, nice and controlled. Going from our C curve, that lovely flexed spine, into our seated tall position. On and off the sit bones, protecting the lower back as we lean back. We're letting our abdominal muscles do the work. You might even start to feel this around your hip flexors. So top of the thighs toward the pelvis. Good. Remember, don't go back so far. You don't want to pull the lower back. And if your feet are coming off the floor, certainly don't lean back quite so far. Now, the next time we lean back, we're going to hold it. Okay, so holding that C curve. Perfect. Let's take the right arm out to the side and then reach forward, sit tall and reach up. All right, we're going to go again. Exhale, C curve, lean back, left arm out, forward and up. Let's break this exercise down step by step. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Big deep breath. Okay, so we're taking those sips of air between every exhale, but when you come up to seated tall, make sure you get a really nice breath of air. Keeping the chest facing forward as you reach one arm out to the side. So lots of control. Really using those core muscles. This is challenging, okay? So just do what you can. We're just going to go one more to each side. Shoo, shoo, and breathe. And then we'll make this one the last repetition before we come up. Wonderful. Relax those arms. Give your shoulders a gentle roll. We're going to come out of seated now anyway and into all fours. So if you just come to the middle of your mat, with your hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, elbows soft, shoulders back and down. Let's find a neutral spine, okay? So remember, you're trying not to drop your ribs. Push gently into the floor, keep the shoulder blades flush with the back and your head aligned with your spine. Keep the navel drawn up. Okay, so this next exercise, also about the core, also about engaging our abdominal muscles. You're going to gently tuck your toes under. Okay, now on your next exhale, just lift the knees and float them a couple of centimetres off the floor. okay? And then you're going to gently pop them down and release your toes. And we're going to go again, okay? So it's toes, knees, knees, and toes. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. So lots of breath-led movement. We're keeping the navel drawn in, so we've got our core engaged. The spine is staying straight. So when you lift your knees, you're literally just floating them a couple of centimeters off the floor so the shins are level with the ground. We're trying not to flex the spine. Now, yes, this is working the chest, the shoulders, and the back of your arms, but you should feel this working the muscles around your waist. So in particular, your transverse abdominis. That's a belt of muscle that runs around your waist and it makes up a big part of your core. Now we're going to just do a couple more and then we're going to float this last one. So right here, keep the knees under the hips, breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees gently down, release the toes. And now if you tuck your tailbone under, sink back onto the heels, slide your arms forward, relax your head down and enjoy a shell stretch. So very gently breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth normally. Relax your abdominals. And then we're going to come up into all fours. So back with the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, elbows soft. And we're going to finish off with the cat and cow. Just a really nice way to wind down, release the spine and gently stretch the abdominals. Okay, let's start with the cat first. We take a breath in. And on that exhale, tuck the tailbone under, draw the navel up, press the floor away from you and nod your chin to the chest. Then inhale, lift the tailbone, let the ribs sink down and look up. So exhale, we flex. Inhale, extend. Leading with the tailbone as we ripple through the spine. This is sequential control of the spine. Last 2. Brilliant. And then we'll come back to neutral after this last one. Okay. And then you can sit on your heels, come to kneeling, give your hands a little shake out if you're feeling that around the wrists as well. Often in all fours, it can make you feel a bit tight around the wrist joints. All right, let's finish off with a nice big deep breath or 2. So you're going to reach your arms gently up as you breathe in deep. And then exhale, bring them down. And again, big deep breath. Last one. Well done. Well done. If you made it to the end of the video, good for you. I really hope that you enjoyed the workout. If you did, please remember to give the video a like and remember to subscribe to the channel. And do feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know how you got on with that workout. What worked for you? What did you find challenging? I'd absolutely love to hear from you. I really hope you're going to join me next week for part 2 of our gentle core strengthening for absolute beginners. And I'll be releasing that around the same time next week. So with all that said, thanks again for moving with me today. And I hope to see you again next week. Take care. Bye.